Hello, this is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 2016 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. Today, my special guest is Warren Kurisu, Director of Product Management at Mentor Graphics. How are you doing today, Warren?
I'm doing great, Craig. Thanks for having me.
You know, the Internet of Things, we know it's continuing to gain momentum, and we're certainly seeing that at our forum. But what's different with Mentor Graphics is you're a commercial embedded systems provider. So from that perspective, what trends are you seeing in the marketplace?
Well, we see quite a bit of trends that are continuing on from last year. We see intelligence being pushed out of the cloud down toward the gateway into the edge. We see a lot more of functional consolidation at the gateway level, where businesses are trying to save money, costs, number of pieces of equipment attached by consolidating multiple components onto fewer pieces of hardware, leveraging very powerful multi-core processors. As these IoT strategies evolve, the desire to connect more and more devices, some of the legacy or brownfield devices, and with newer devices, with the most recent connectivity options, are popping up in the conversation. And then, of course, with all this consolidation, all this computing power being pushed out of the cloud, we see a lot more interest in end-to-end security.
Now, you must seeing some changes, challenges in the market with all these edge devices?
Yeah, absolutely. With the edge devices, it is pretty challenging because, as I mentioned, the businesses need to start connecting all of their assets. They want to use all the data being connected to these gateways and to the cloud. They want to be able to control all these things. And so when you start getting all this aggregation of connectivity, it becomes very challenging. The way that a lot of companies are solving this problem today is they're adding bridging hardware into the networks that are bridging physical connections, maybe bridging protocols. And there's things like OPC UA that help to normalize the communications from the enterprise network down to the edge devices and through the gateway. But you still have a bridging problem physical minimally. So a lot of the discussions are turning into, how can I connect all these devices without adding all this extra hardware? Because the extra hardware on the network adds cost, it adds complexity, it creates potential reliability issues. And then every time you connect something to the network, it potentially increases the attack surface of the network. And as we know, security is the paramount concern here as we get into more and more connected devices.
Yeah, kind of speaking of security, a lot of times that brings up the cloud. And what kind of trends are you seeing in kind of pushing intelligence, let's say from the cloud, to the edge? And it must create some additional challenges, I would think.
There are quite a number of challenges that arise from this. There was a recent survey from Gartner Group that said by 2020, there'll be 20.8 billion connected devices, but that's across all segments, right? Today, it's something like 6.4 billion. So if you do the math, it's growing quite rapidly. And one of the issues is the amount of data that is flooding the networks is becoming a big concern. So that is the biggest trend that's starting to push intelligence down away from the cloud to the gateway and to the edge devices. Now, once you do that, the gateway has to become a lot more intelligent. It needs to be an application platform. There was another study recently released by another industry analyst segmenting the gateway market, and what they classify as the fastest growing segment by unit volume is what they call the intelligent gateways, which is exactly this. It's these very intelligent, very powerful computing platforms. So, what ends up happening there is you need to think more about security as you have data traversing the networks. Now you have data stored in the gateway at these waypoints within the network, at the gateway and the edge devices. And you need to process data in a very secretive fashion so that an ad hoc device connecting to the network or somebody who breaks in through an IT hole can't get to that data and either steal the data or start controlling devices connected to these systems. So security ends up being really critical in terms of being able to enable powerful processing and consolidation, but in a way that is very secure.
Yeah, now do you see the security discussion changing? I mean, we've had at this forum, we've had a full day of cybersecurity workshops. So as you've been coming to this forum, are you starting to see changes in the security discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been changing. In the past, security around industrial systems has been all around IT security. where IT departments would set up firewalls, they'd set up encrypted pipes, and it was really all about securing the data that traverses the network. But as gateways become more intelligent, as edge devices become more intelligent, you need ways to be able to secure data and the processing of that data within those systems outside of the cloud. Now, what ends up happening is you need a way of having a hardware secured partition to be able to do these things. I mean, really high security. One of the things that Mentor Graphics supports in these devices is a technology called ARM Trustzone. It's part of the ARM architecture. And what that provides is a hardware secured partition where you can do data storage and secure data processing. So if you need to store things like crypto keys or data or anything else, you could secure it completely away from the rest of the system. And then as part of a consolidated system, you might have a part of the system that's maybe just running Linux and running some HMI that's all consolidated. That other part of the system cannot see at all what's going on in the trusted, enforced part of the processing. So in terms of a gateway, that's one way that you would be able to protect these assets. So that's kind of how the discussion's changing. It's about being able to create secure processing and data storage areas outside of the cloud.
Okay. And for our final question, last year at the forum, you guys at Mentor Graphics created a big buzz with your industrial automation solution. I mean, you talked about, safety, convergence, power reduction, security. How has that solution worked out for you, and how's it evolved over the last year?
It's worked out great. We got a lot of visibility here at the ARC Forum last year, and that's been terrific for us. Customers have looked at it; they've understood the value it brings. So, we're providing this to many of the tier 1 industrial suppliers that are leveraging our technologies. Over the last year, we've been filling out the solution. We've added additional protocol support. We've added OPC UA and Ethernet IP. We have more to come there. We've also got both our Nucleus and our Mentor Embedded Linux certified to World Tech Achilles Class 2 security certifications. We have certificates for both of those, and those are resonating very well because, as you pointed out, security is a top-level topic here, and many of the end users of these pieces of equipment are requiring Achilles certification for their devices. So we've done a lot. There's more to come, and I hope a year from now we could be sitting here and I could give you yet another update.
Excellent. Can't wait to talk to you again next year about it. Thanks very much, Warren. This is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 2016 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. Thanks, and have a great day.